Hey, how's it going everyone? I just wanted to do a quick little run through of a rear rotor and brake change of a 2011 Volkswagen GTi MK6. Little side note that the 2011, as opposed to the rest of the MK6s, comes with a 272 millimeter rear rotor as opposed to the 282s, so keep that in mind. It's a fairly simple process, only a few steps. It's real easy. I only saw like a video or two, so I figured I'd throw one up while I'm doing it. The rotors I'm putting on are just plain faced OEM rotors. I don't track my car, so I don't think it's too necessary. Alright, so tools for the job. It's not a very complicated job. You don't need many tools. First, you will need a 13 and a 19 millimeter ratchet. That'll be to get the caliper slide pins out, to get the caliper apart in the first place. You'll need a T30 screwdriver or head or anything to get the screw out that holds the rotor and the hub together. You'll also need a 14 triple square socket. This is the weird one. If you don't have one of these, it's probably not going to be at your store. Along with this, you'll want some penetrating spray for those bolts, because they are on there. If you haven't taken them off recently, they're definitely going to be on there pretty strong. And you'll need a 1/2 inch ratchet or breaker bar to attach to this to get those off. It's a kind of a weird angle, so try to keep an assortment. You'll need a disc brake caliper tool, and since it's the rear ones, you will need the adapter plate with the 2 pegs on it. This one is a marked a 7. I don't know if they're universal sizes, but mine's a size 7. And finally, some brake cleaner. You're going to want to use brake cleaner to just clean your rotors when you put them on. Always get those fresh and smooth, and clean all the surfaces from mounting. Like when we put these on, you'll want to go ahead and clean and brush that off, so keep a brush as well. And gloves. You want to keep your finger oils off of all brake components all the time, so always wear gloves and be prepared to change them. If they tear, they're not doing the job. Alright, now I went ahead and removed the wheel. Obviously, that's the first step. The second step you're going to want to do is take off your parking brake. You're not going to be able to take the rotor off if your back brake is locked onto it. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is take our 13 millimeter and our 19 millimeter and use that to take off the caliper slide pin right here. You'll put that on the back. There's a hex bolt just like normal. That's the 13. And right here is a square, but that's going to be a 19 millimeter. You could use an adjustable wrench if you want to. So just go ahead and use the 19 to hold the square. You don't turn that one. And you loosen with the 13. Some of them are a little tight and it won't feel like it's coming out. I've done my brake pads already, so it's loosened, but I believe there's factory Loctite on there. So some of them will feel like they're fighting the whole time, but as long as you got that square held right there, you should be good. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and loosen the bottom one now. Ooh, that hurt. See what I mean? Sometimes it could be a little tight. Just gotta make sure you keep it on the square though. Like right there, I let it go, and you'll think you got it good, but you don't have it at all. Just like life. So they may or may not be hand tight yet, but as you go ahead and get them loose, you want to have your jack ready. I know I'm safe because all my neighbors are old and white. And it's not gonna fall off on you. But now that we got that off, remember, I said take the parking brake off and I did not. So it should be a little easier to come off this time since the brake isn't locked together. There we go. Gotta wiggle it off. Both of the pads stay on. It's not like the front calipers where one stays on. I probably should have got a pry bar, but I ain't about that life. Just use these little hands to max potential. There we go. Pull that out. And as you can see, you have all this stuff back here. Let me get a better shot of that. You have all this wiring back here for your parking brake. It doesn't let it dangle on the brake lines as much as in the front. Still support it. Alright, and the brake pads. I see some people saying they need to finesse them out. I don't know. Maybe mine are not good. Don't know. Don't care. And there it comes. So what I ended up doing, I had to move the jack out of the way. It was just, I couldn't move around with it right there. So I just put the caliper assembly right there. As far as getting under there, just get the jack out of the way. It'll support itself. It's not gonna fall. Be careful either way, but that's what I had to do right now. Alright, now since I don't remember the exact angles I got for that last time, I'm just gonna go ahead and figure it out right now. I do remember I had one leg on a trailing arm now, so be prepared to be mad at your body size. I was actually happy with mine for once. That's off. This is... Oh yeah. So that would be the way. Get up under it at an angle. If you want to add a bar right there, go ahead. But that worked very well. Nice. And then for the bottom one. That one's actually a little bit different. But not too much. Let me get a... I wish I could get the... Alright, yeah, this is the best way, is a... There we go, got the foot at the bottom right there. That did it, everyone. Whew. Everyone meaning just me. There we go. Oh, god damn it. Oh. Cut my hip. Alright, so we got those screws out. As you can see, they're pretty big. Mine has some rust in them. That doesn't make me happy at all. See, this is an individual piece. Comes out by itself. Keep that supported right there, like I said. Can't have it hanging back there. Here's the easy part. When I got this car, it didn't have the screws right here. I didn't know the importance of them until I changed the rotors. And I realized it's entirely what holds the rotors on. And oops. Didn't take my ring off right there. So, get in there. This one wants to give me a little fight. I didn't have that with the last one. That is on there. I'm probably gonna actually have to hammer that off. I haven't had to take a hammer in my car yet. Alright, let's get the mallet. Where's my mallet? Where's my fucking mallet? I should have recorded that because I never like hammering stuff if I don't know how to hammer it already. But I'm gonna put some gloves back on because we're gonna start cleaning. So let's start cleaning. Get some brake cleaner. And what I have is a steel tipped brush and then a brass tipped brush. Brass is a little softer. Steel is a little bit harder. I used to be a painter, but not anymore, but I still like to break it down with that and then kill it off with that and then finish it off with that because, you know, work harder, not smarter. Keep a rag under, by the way. It's your garage, but give it a brush, a brush, a brush. Brush, a brush, a brush. Give it a hard scrub with steel tip. Now you're not gonna get a shiny finish. That's not what we're really aiming for. You just want a smooth surface. So I made a mistake and ran out of brake cleaner. So I'm just gonna do the procedure. Clean this, spray this down, hold it, spray it down, spray it down, spray it down, let it all drip off. Top to bottom. You don't spray the bottom and spray the top and have the dirt drip down. That's just, I don't know if that's common sense. I lack common sense sometimes. So clean it off, clean this off, spray your pads down. Set that on right there. And you're gonna wanna line up that little hole down there. And just screw it back in. This doesn't have a torque rating. I wouldn't imagine that it would anyways. Make sure your rotor is flush when you tighten the screw. I hate the way my car sounds, but that's tight. And you're just gonna go ahead and reassemble everything. So you're gonna take that final caliper piece you removed and you're gonna put it back on the same way with those square sockets facing towards the front of the car, and you slide it in. I'd love to give you all a better view, but it's one of those self-explanatory things. Slide that in. Now these are stretch bolts, by the way. I actually have some new ones coming because they're supposed to be torqued down to 140. I believe I have some notes. 130 or 140. I think 140 pounds and then a quarter turn. So they stretch. So when you do take bolts out like that, you're going to want to replace them. This is the brake caliper tool. Take the little plate that comes in the kits. Oh, this is magnetized. That's actually very nice. And this is how you use it. So as you can see, this part, the whole thing goes in the middle. Peg side up is spin the nut part that's right there, the little sleeve, to unloosen it until those two tabs touch in the metal drum in the back. This part right here. They'll lock in, and what you want to do so that the plate pushes against the red. You take your T-handle that's at the end and you just keep turning it, and it's gonna push that to the back, and it's not the easiest thing to do. Oh, I'm sorry, I was turning that the wrong way. And what you want to do is get a wrench. I forgot about that part. Get a wrench, turn that, and it will loosen it. And your caliper is compressed. So after you've got that part compressed back in, and you put your brake pads back on, it'll be ready to just slide right back on. And you will put your slide pins back in, and that should be all. I hope it wasn't too rough of a visual for everyone. I'll be the first to say I don't really know what I'm doing most of the times. I hope someone saw something they couldn't figure out and figured it out. Again, thank you. And remember, think for yourself, treat people well, but don't trust them.